Sarah Palin's eldest daughter, Bristol Palin, has been hounded by stalkers for years, and after little help from the criminal justice system, she's taken matters into her own hands. We talked to Bristol for a new documentary airing Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 Central on Fox, delving into the horrors of famous people who've had to battle obsessed fans, to the point their lives have been put at risk, including BP here, whose history with this is well documented. The incidents for Bristol date back to the mid-2010s, and they were all harrowing. In the years since, Bristol hasn't shied away from the fact that she exercises her Second Amendment right to bear arms, something she touches on here in our sit-down with her. Check it out. She describes the anxiety she lives with in the aftermath of everything she's gone through, and explains why she feels protecting herself, her home and her family is absolutely essential in her daily life going forward. Part of the reason she feels she needs to go to these extremes is because the law itself is simply too lenient when it comes to stalking, and doesn't do enough to deter them. We get far more into the topic in the doc itself, titled, TMZ Investigates, Obsessed and Dangerous, Hollywood's Stalker Crisis, and cover more stars who've dealt with this. In a revealing new interview with People, Wilkinson emphasizes it was never her responsibility to protect Hugh Hefner. When Playboy founder Hugh Hefner died in September 2017 at age 91, Kendra Wilkinson wasn't sitting at home mourning. Hours after the news broke, Wilkinson says she was getting high at a Sublime concert in California. "I smoked a lot of weed," recalls Wilkinson, 38, exclusively in a new interview with People. Although it's been 20 years since she first rose to fame at age 18 as one of Hefner's girlfriends, the reality star says she is only beginning to unpack the trauma from her time living in his Playboy. "Look, at the end of the day, I owe Hef nothing," she says. "I'm not going to sit here and protect him. Hugh Hefner decided to date millions of girls, right? That's not my responsibility. And whatever happened with him, with his relationships, that was his thing. It's not my responsibility to protect a man for his life choices." Now 2 decades after she and Hefner first began dating, Wilkinson, who is currently in therapy, has more perspective. "I got into deep regret afterwards. I got to that point where I started hating myself, and asking why did I have sex with Hugh Hefner?" She says of Hefner, who was 60 years her senior. "I hated my boobs, my body, my face. I got to that point where I started hating myself." After Wilkinson left the mansion, she wed former NFL player Hank Baskett, 41, at her one-time residence in June 2009, walking down the aisle while pregnant with Hank Jr., now 14, who was born that December. She and Baskett, who finalized their divorce in 2019, later welcomed daughter Elijah Mary, 9, in 2014. In September, Wilkinson was hospitalized and diagnosed with anxiety and depression and placed on antipsychotic medication. "It's not easy to look back at my 20s. I've had to face my demons," says Wilkinson. Now, she acknowledges that Playboy messed up her whole life. "Do you know how many people were putting pressure on me to stick up for Hef with all his allegations and all this stuff? That's not my responsibility to stick up for someone like that," she says. "That's what started triggering me because people were like, well, why don't you stick up for him? And I had a marriage to my ex-husband and now 2 kids to focus on now, not Hugh Hefner." Although Wilkinson is finally ready to talk about her experiences, she says that she'd also like to move on as she continues pursuing her real estate career. "Hef kept appearing in my life and there were times where I wanted to stop that. I'm like, Hef's not a part of my life anymore. Can we not include Hef in my life moving forward?" she says. "He was 5 years of my life. He's not my life," she emphasizes. "So there were times where I kept trying to part ways with Playboy and it just kept following me through time. I had to really face the truth of it all." Reflecting on her growth, Wilkinson is proud of how far she's come from those troubling times. "I have so much good in front of me. I have 2 of the most amazing kids who are good, solid human beings, and I feel like I just pressed a rebirth," she says, taking a deep breath. "Whatever that hurricane I was part of is in the far distance now." Please subscribe to our channel for more.